3,200 lost jobs. That's the information that I woke up to today. And, well, we're going to get into it. No fanfare or anything like that. We're just going to get straight into the tweet from Asha, the new CEO of Xbox. And we are going to learn a little bit about what happened here today, I hope. And I'm sure as more information comes out, as people get maybe how things were over at Xbox Studios, we will get more insight as to what's really going on in the gaming sphere, because there have been layoffs upon layoffs upon layoffs almost every single month. And I'm sure that if we look at indie studios that, things aren't working out as much, things that we don't hear about as prominently in the mainstream media, we probably are looking at layoffs every single month. It's actually extremely unstable in the gaming sphere right now, and I have no idea what's going on. But let's take a look at what Asha has to say. This is an important email I sent today to all employees at Xbox, which, assuming that she's telling the truth here, I will say that is quite transparent. I don't believe that most, so my phone went off. I don't believe that most CEOs would have publicly disclosed such a thing. We did know ahead of time that they were going to have a significant amount of layoffs. This was stated, and they did say it was going to be about the largest amount of layoffs in the history of gaming, which is staggering to imagine, considering that we've been seeing numbers like 800 get thrown around recently. Learning that we are having something significantly bigger, and it is significantly bigger. It's 4 times as big, actually. That's just ridiculous. So I appreciate the transparency, but of course, I'm going to have to take it with a grain of salt. And as we go through this, we're going to see, hopefully, what happened as we read further. Team, we are beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout financial year 27. This will include approximately 1,600 role eliminations today. Whoa. Yeesh. And in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. Okay, if nothing else, I will say that I do like her amount of transparency, but holy fucking shit, every time Asha gets on the horn, it's like the bearer of bad news. The old horns start playing, and it's like damn near the end of the world. I mean, we talked about she came in there and they were raising the prices, okay. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here, or sought us out because they loved the industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Our business today is not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core businesses have weakened, and we've added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. Okay, that is at least very insightful. Accountability, I will say, for one. She's saying that they, as a company, continue to grow and grow and grow. And I believe this probably came from about COVID era, where every studio was just growing and hiring a billion fucking developers for everything like they were Fortnite, and they just kept hiring and hiring and hiring because they expected the what's it called, like the gravy train to never run out. They thought the things were just going to keep going for some reason, and that people were going to just stay inside and play video games when they had the option. Holy, but obviously, as COVID and all the lockdowns have ended, people have gone outside more and, of course, have been spending less time and money on video games, which obviously is creating a bit of stress in the gaming industry, especially when it comes to out-of-touch CEOs in certain gaming sectors. I will say Asha appears to be doing a bit better, but whoever was there previous, I don't actually recall. It wouldn't be Phil Spencer. I believe that would be I believe that would be that's a Bungie thing. But and whoever was there probably presumed that we will continue to see profit the same that we did back in 2020, 2021, and that the gravy train won't end. And well, here we are after 3,200 layoffs being announced all the way throughout the end of the year, with half of them taking place in a single day. But it's very clear that the higher ups are chasing a unicorn that really doesn't exist, and they're really hoping for an infinite money glitch here, and it's resulted in over bloating their team sizes and now having to make a harsh decision during one of the worst economic times we've been in recent history here. So I'm sure that the ones who are responsible for this are actually not going to be being laid off. I'm very sure that those who are responsible for the ridiculous overbloating of the team sizes will be able to sleep just fine, and I'm sure they're multi-million-dollar homes, and be able to clock in the next day. Actually, if they're salaried, they don't even have to clock in. I'm sure they're not going to have to worry, and if they are going to be laid off, I'm sure they're just going to go and fuck it up somewhere else. That's just kind of how people do it once they hit a certain level in a company. I am still very I'm still very excited to see where Asha goes with this. I do have a lot of hope for her. I've never owned an Xbox console, so to see such a significant layoff from a studio that I presume was the biggest competitor to what was home to me was PlayStation, that is telling. And it's also, I'm sure, going to be a domino that's going to fall in the future on different companies. If Xbox is willing to come out here and say, hey, we fucked up, we got to slim down, and it needs to be a big one. That means that other companies are most likely going to be able to follow suit, because somebody else has already taken accountability, and they're going to be like, okay, well, since they've taken accountability, we can take accountability. We don't have to be the first ones to do it. And then there's probably going to be a lot of developers without jobs. So I do really hope that at least some indie studios can pick them up, or studios with less idiotic management are able to pick them up. First, we will reset our content portfolio. Since 2018, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpaces the last 10 years combined. We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with smaller independent studios. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We have also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year, we lost 64 cents for every dollar we invested. As we reset Xbox, holy shit, that's bad. As we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing open development tools and audiences to realize their vision. 64 cents for every dollar. If they're only making 46 cents for every dollar invested, I mean, that means that Xbox has probably been running in the red for a long time. I'm sure that their stock is doing fucking atrocious right now after this. Compulsion Games and Double Fine Productions will return to management and transition to independent studios with their IP catalog and runway for their next games. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have entered teams to join new ownership with funding to complete and grow Senua and State of Decay 3. I've heard of State of Decay, I've never heard of Senua. In France, Arcane's management is beginning required consultation for its works council to review a potential strategic option, or to review potential strategic options. We are also making reductions across other units, and in some cases shifting investment to focus on higher priority projects. These changes vary in size across Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. None of our first party publicly announced games or projects are being canceled as part of these reductions. I'm glad to see they're not canceling any games. I'm glad to see that they're finding homes for these studios. I'm glad that they're looking into ways to help transition the studios into their own independent place, so they can take care of themselves the way that they probably were in the beginning before they were acquired. I hope that without the extra oversight and bureaucracy by being owned by Xbox, that these studios can actually get their games out, and we can see a lot more indie companies publishing games, more affordable games. Because recently I posted a video about how games are becoming more expensive, and then Sony's trying to end physical media forever. And when games are $80 on base, we're talking GTA Standard Edition, Mario Kart World Tour. People are being priced out of that hobby. I have friends of mine who can't afford the new DLCs for games, and that's absolutely ridiculous. You never should have been priced out of this type of hobby, especially not with what's going on right now in the world. So I do have high hopes for these indie studios. I hope that we see more great things like Megabonk and Helldivers. I really hope that we see a lot of good stuff coming out. In addition, Mojang and King will now report directly to me. If I remember correctly, King would be the Candy Crush studio, and Mojang is the Minecraft studio. So that is very interesting. Minecraft has really been doing their best to shit the bed recently, and I'm not sure if they had other people under Asha to report to outside of Mojang. I figured that they are all well enclosed, but perhaps they were a lot more intertwined with Xbox than I thought they were. But reporting directly to Asha is interesting. Directly to the CEO, that's something that I don't believe usually happens. I figure that there's a litany of people below the CEO that these people talk to, and they never actually end up seeing their CEO for the most part. So I wonder how this is going to go. I mean, perhaps, if Asha really is about it, if she really does play games and care about the company this much, then she will be able to see through some issues that previous management has not. And perhaps by removing some of the middlemen, there might even be some blatant corruption that gets uncovered when you're reporting directly to the CEO. There is no other higher power. I'm sure they have like a board of directors, but like, being able to get directly to your CEO, assuming that your CEO is a good one, should result in positives for your company. The same way that, like, if it was an indie studio, whoever like the owner of the indie studio is, right, that's essentially their CEO. And if people are reporting to that person and there's not a large amount of hierarchy that you have to go through, there's less loss in translation, and hopefully that leads to a greater turnaround time. I'm not really sure. Again, I've never developed a game or anything like that. So I can only hope that this makes something good happen for the gaming industry and for Xbox. I hope you guys can let me know down below if you have any opinions or even insight on that. I'd actually really be interested in what's going on here in the gaming sphere if anybody has any additional information. These two studios have increasingly become platforms and our largest bi-monthly active players. They bring critical geographic, demographic, and differentiation. Holy, oh my, to Xbox. Okay, that's why. It's because they're the biggest. So I figured that the idea behind having King and Mojang report directly to her is so she can pick their brain as to how they've managed to capture as many people and retain them. Because I think retention is what the issue is. And Minecraft has large retention because it is available on everything. And it has been available on everything for quite a while. And then, of course, there's like things like the modding communities and the Minecraft YouTubers and everything that are really keeping everything alive. So I figure that may have something to do with it. I'm not sure if the Minecraft formula is really going to translate well to the rest of the types of games. Like, I'm not sure if Minecraft's formula is going to translate well to something like Blizzard or Bethesda, but I do look forward to seeing what they end up getting done as a result of picking their brains. I'm sure something good couldn't come of it. Secondly, we will reset our platform. We know that great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, in some parts of the company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of this generation. As I say 14, I meant 40%. Even as our player base and playtime has declined, that complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify. That is something I said. For that much bureaucracy to be going on, when you're reporting directly to somebody, you can get choices, you can get feedback, you can go, hey, hey, this is what we're working on. Oh, okay, that seems good. Yeah, let's go. Let's ship it, instead of going, hey, this is what we're working on. Oh, okay, I got to bring this to the next. I got to bring this to the next. I got to bring this to the next. I got to bring this to the even in the amount of time. Holy shit! Even in the amount of time that it's taken me to say that. Right. It's exponentially more time. It becomes glacial to develop. So when you have to go through 14 different layers of management, and this isn't even just counting like the people down below who are actually working collaboratively in teams together, who have a whole bunch of people they need to talk to, all of the management that they have to go through, that's ridiculous. 14 layers is ridiculous. What do you even call those people? Right? So there's like CEO, CFOs, and all those people. Then like, who are we going down to? Like, who are these people even reporting to? Because like, if there's a manager of, I guess like the game director, right? And then there's the people under them. Then there's like the art directors and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that like those people are important. Oh, sorry about that. Those roles are obviously important, but like, how are we getting 14? How do we manage to fold this piece of paper that many times? That doesn't make any sense. We will reduce management layers to no more than 5, and where possible 3. Oh, so like the people who are going to be reporting directly to you, no 3. Okay. We will deliver success through a flatter organization that is built around makers, individual contributors focusing on building, player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while also developing their teams, and directly responsible individuals who own key decisions and outcomes. We will be streamlining how we work across our tools with a cleaner code base, shared services, and 50% reduced vendor spend. Okay, I like the way this sounds on paper. I'm sure that somebody much wiser than me can really break down what the negatives of this are going to be, outside of obviously people losing their jobs. That is horrible, and I wish we didn't have to do it this way. Obviously, if you keep growing and growing and growing and growing the company and it's not making as much money, then you're going to have to scale back eventually. But that is an oversight by the higher ups that now the little guy has to pay for it. Third, we are resetting how we operate. As Xbox grew our headcount, we became more fragmented. Teams, studios, and functions often operate independently, and it became harder to work towards a shared goal, make the right trade-offs, and get things done. For the first time, we are establishing a chief operating officer with end-to-end P&L responsibility across, I don't know what P&L means, across content, hardware, platform, and services. Helen Chiang has been promoted to this role and will report directly to me. Over nearly 2 decades at Xbox, Helen has helped build some of our most important businesses, from Xbox Live to leading Mojang and the Minecraft she will bring our businesses together under one operating model, making sure that we make clear investment decisions, learn from our successes and failures, and hold ourselves accountable for results. Thank you, Dave McCarthy, who is retiring after, I've heard that name, after 17 years with Xbox. Dave has played a defining role in building the platform that millions of players, the millions of players rely on every day, and has been a trusted partner through many of the biggest moments in Xbox's history. We wish him all the best. These changes are about a bigger future for Xbox, not a smaller one. The next decade of gaming will be larger, more global, and more creative than anything we've seen before. This year, we'll invest as much in Xbox as we ever have, and we'll invest with greater focus, greater discipline, and greater clarity, all in service of making Xbox where the world plays and creates. I want Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day and gives everyone the opportunity to create and connect. I know we can achieve this goal. Xbox has many of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history, talented studios around the world, and we will return to growth in 2027. History is full of companies that mistake longevity for inevitability. We will not be one of them. Asha. I like her words. I like the message behind it. I hate what happened. I'm optimistic about the future of it, but I do have questions in how big of a role AI is going to play in this. We know that Xbox itself, this clearly is something that had been pushed and happening before Asha even took over, and they already had Greenland coming through the pipeline. But they had their whole AI assisted thing. They were going to play the game for you, which is really weird. What's the point of you booting up the game if you're not actually going to play it yourself? But like, at least watch a Let's Play or something. I hope that their idea isn't slim down the workforce and replace them with AI. And even now, AI is becoming so expensive that the companies that are using it are burning holes in their pocket for the sole ability to use it on nothing. And the amount of backlash that gamers give to AI, gamers and artists and critics, because obviously if you're working on a project and there's AI on it, let's say you're an artist, right? You've got now a moral dilemma for what's going on. Are you willing to sacrifice your job potentially to speak out against it, right? Obviously that's why a lot of games that end up coming out having it, let's take Crimson Desert, Exhibition 33 ended up having some AI assets before they released their game, right? If you are an artist and you find out about these things, you can't just up and jump ship. Right now, more than ever, you need to have stability, you need a job, you need money. If you were to just get up and leave to stand on your principles, well, then they're just going to continue doing what they're doing, and yes, they'll be producing slop, but you're not even going to be getting paid. And it creates a whole big issue. And I hope that Xbox doesn't take the stance that they can replace everybody with AI and then hopefully recoup their losses while not having to actually pay humans. I hope that they're not going to just outsource all of their jobs. I hope that they actually stick with it. They incubate from the inside and let passionate people work on these games, people who know what they're doing, people who care about the franchises, who care about the work. I hope that those are the people who are going to be working on these games going forward, because we've seen far too much of people who are not passionate, who are uncaring, unfeeling, don't really care too much about the games that they are working on, don't care too much about the games that they are running in the franchises. We've seen far too much of that happening now. And I think going forward, what the best idea is to return to form. Back to those days when people would wait outside of GameStop, I mean, which is its own can of worms, and wait for the new release of the new COD or something like that. We need people to be excited about it. We need developers who care about what they're making to make it so that the players feel excited for what's in their hands. We can't lose sight of the bigger goal just because we see extra money in front of us, because that money is going to fade if we lose sight. If we do not do what we are supposed to do, if we do not do our jobs and create the gaming experience that people are looking for and are expecting, and that people are planning on passing on to their children and cousins and even older family members and friends, then everyone is going to fail. And this will not be the last of the layoffs. So I really hope that Xbox gets it together. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment for the algorithm, all that good stuff. Check out my ASMR channel if you like that type of stuff. And I will be seeing you all later. Thank you for listening. And remember that your prince loves you all. Mwah.